shouldn't I?
You should,
Probably
yeah.
be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are we streaming? Are we streaming on both streams?
Yeah,
Are both
well,
streams streaming?
Streams
Mine
are
is.
live.
Yep.
Well,
In
I
fact, I
have.
just had a viewer ask. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to step on you.
It's okay. So looking at Fantasy Grounds, I have 3 different things that say 4E Pirates, and none of them are green.
Yeah, ditto.
Oh, I'm already in.
Well, just try to click on it, see what happens.
Okay.
Somebody's gotten in here. Almost everybody's gotten in here.
Except for Bondi Inc.
Just try it. Yep.
Okay, I picked one.
You said somebody already posted a message in chat?
Oh no, one of my friends who listens to the stream, hello Vlad, said, hey, where'd the stream go? Because I'd started it for a second and then turned it off again.
I see. I have now in my Pirates group, Google Chrome tab group, I have both streams in it, so they always come up whenever I open the Pirates thing.
Fabulous.
Nice.
Nerd. There we go. Hornet game. Hi, Vlad. Who the fuck is Vlad?
He just was mentioned on the
Vlad
other
is
stream.
a very dear friend of mine.
Shout out to Vlad.
He's a very famous streaming moderator from LA.
Okay.
Nice.
Streaming moderator?
Yeah, he moderates a lot of streams for other streamers.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, his name's Vladdy Daddy. Hello, Vladdy.
Sounds like a moderator for a dungeon party.
Ah!
Dungeons and Dragons party. It's called
Not that kind of dungeon party.
Yes, Hornet. We know.
What did Hornet say? I must know.
You were just talking about Vlad.
You were just talking. Yeah, well, I didn't know who the fuck that was, so I needed it clarified. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, let's pull up my D&D notes. When last we left our piratical plunderers or whatever you guys are, your hero, the pirate
thing,
pirates. What the fuck were we up to?
We were having a little bit of downtime session, I think.
I think so. I think it was mostly downtime stuff and kind
It
of.
was mostly downtime stuff, but I think if I'm not mistaken, I think we ended with getting the show on the road.
Lan had a psychedelic trip.
Oh, I did have a psychedelic trip. I was in church. That's right. I went to church.
That's right.
Yeah. To wash the sin off of you.
Well, the sin is inside of me, not outside of me. By the way, did you guys know that a blue whale's sphincter can actually stretch up to 3.5 feet in diameter?
And there it is. There it is.
I don't even bother anymore.
Anyway,
there's nothing wrong with it.
Actually, that's very apt for this session. Don't worry about it.
I don't want to know.
No, I'm only kidding.
I really don't want to.
Anyway, I do remember we left off with you guys kind of having a little bit of downtime in Isla Cordova, which is a city that you rescued from the Cult of the Fathomless some time ago. So everybody here's kind of got a positive attitude toward the crew of the Chimera. So you're treated very well at any bars. You get discounts at whatever restaurants you go to in town, because you guys have been here for, I think, at least a couple of days, if not a week at this point, meeting up with the crew of the Stormrunner.
Yep.
Where is it? Isla Cordova. There you are.
I'm sorry, stream. I have to put you on the chat for a second because, oh dear.
What did you do? You fucked something
up? Yeah. Fantasy Grounds is not displaying the right settings. There we go.
Is it displaying the wrong fantasy or the wrong ground?
So when last we left off, I remember we did most of the stuff that you guys wanted to do here. If we look at the notes section, Mondi's very thorough notes here. Let's see.
Thank you for stopping by, Big Mike.
All the feature.
And,
We gotta go.
yeah,
Whenever
you
you
had
look
come in
Cordova,
at the
meet up
wrong
with the
time.
Stormrunner crew. Yeah.
Talking
Okay.
about the penises or sphincters or whatever it was we were talking about.
Was there not something else going on?
Yes, I walked off to get lost on purpose.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I'm supposed to run into shenanigans or something.
Yes, let me check the notes here. Ah, yes, I do remember now. Okay, I just wrote this today. I used the 2 weeks in between sessions very wisely, and that I wrote all of these notes today.
That's okay.
So, Amandi, you have fucked off to get lost among the in and amongst the city, this small town of Isla Cordova. It's not that big, but it's like a decent sized town. It was supposed to be a colony for what's the thing? Razone and Capital, but
Oh, that's right. We're going to Rosone.
well, this island is technically owned by.
No, but the telescope is taking us to mainland proper.
Oh, true. Yeah, it is pointing in that direction. But you are lost in and amongst the buildings. You find yourself kind of on the part of town. If you remember the last time you were here, a lot of the citizens of this town were disappeared by the cult. Some of the buildings have come back to being used at this point, more nearby, like kind of from like expanding out from where the center of town was. So like you're kind of found yourself in an abandoned part of town where most of the buildings at this point are still vacant. Yet inexplicably in one of these shop windows you see a new-ish shop. Like this definitely wasn't here the last time you were here a couple of months ago. A new like consignment store has opened up in this abandoned part of town where basically no foot traffic.
Be careful, Amandi. There's some really rough customers around here.
Like, sure, I'll walk up to it. Seems interesting.
Yeah, it's just got a like the sign just says consignment with a little like weighing scales in the on the sign. It doesn't really have a name or anything. Oh, I forgot to get art for this.
Ben, don't worry. I found your art for you. Just look in the chat.
Okay, very good. Perfect. Yes, just like that.
That is what I was thinking about.
Sort of, not quite.
Okay. I walk in.
You see basically a normal consignment store. Like bits and bobs, tchotchkes kind of all over the shelves, stuff from like faraway lands. You see behind the counter kind of writing in a ledger, like taking inventory records and stuff, an older Hagaran woman, so very like Asian looking lady. I can't find any art for an Asian woman that isn't a warrior or something. So,
You could just take a picture of an old Asian woman.
well, I want it to be like fantasy art. So I can't find anything that's not either bullshit anime or some like Mulan ass looking lady. Actually, she looks good.
Just get a picture of real life Ming Na Wen.
No.
Just get a picture of real life Michelle Yeoh.
I mean, she kind of does look like Michelle Yeoh. You know, if you had to cast her, that would kind of be the vibe.
I'm just looking up fan art of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Stand by. She kind of looks up from her desk and kind of. She's very calm, but she smiles at you and says, "Oh, I haven't had a customer in a little while. What brings you into the shop? Looking for anything specific?"
Well, the first two things that come to mind are axes or magic. So if you got anything like that, then yes. If no, then no, I'm not looking for anything specific. I'm just looking.
I see. Magic. Let's see if she has anything magic.
Or axes.
Or
Is that
magic.
Or
Is
magic.
is that fantasy enough for you, Ben?
Well,
what
she's
is
still
this?
holding a sword, so
No.
unless
Yeah, but
she's
she
holding.
looks like
I will.
looks like she might be appraising it.
I will get Polly a shirt. What color shirt do you want, Hornet?
Let's see. Let me check here. She
do my
doesn't
best.
have any magic items, but she does have a let's see. She has an axe. What kind of axe does she have? She has an old Ragged Baldy axe. That's basically like it looks like it has carvings along the handle, like it was like a family heirloom, like war axe.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "This came in about a month ago. It's not magic or anything, but it is. It has a lot of sentimental value to the people of Ragnvald."
Interesting. I go take a closer look.
Yeah, it looks very well crafted and well taken care of. Yeah, it has like carvings along the haft of it. Give me a history check.
Okay.
You're not sure what the markings mean. She says they're like the story of the clan that this thing was an heirloom of. But
I will
you've
work on
never
those
seen
things.
shit. Like you
Maybe
don't
not
know
in
what the
this one
Ragnvaldi
session,
culture is like.
but
So it's hard to tell for you.
Okay. How much do you want for it?
For something like this, let's see. Something like this would go for 900 gold.
Youch.
Let me check here. Hold on a second. Let me actually get the stat block for what this is. Type X.
I'm trying to decide if Amandi is a haggler. Because I don't, like, as far as being on the crew, I don't think she's ever needed to haggle as long as Lan has been around.
Fair enough. This axe is a war axe, which in 4E terms means it is one-handed and versatile, which means you get 1 extra point of damage if you are using it two-handed, but it has a D12 damage and has a +2 proficiency bonus with one hand.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my Jaskaran axe is two-handed.
I believe so. The fan axe.
Yeah.
Just get another
one.
one-handed axe and dual wield them.
Hell yeah. Do it.
I don't remember what stat block I used for the fan axe. Let me see if it says on your sheet. Inventory. Jaskaran fan axe. High crit and brutal. It doesn't have the die damage on it? Whatever.
The die damage is a D12, it looks like.
Okay.
Uh,
You're it's the stats of an execution axe is what you have.
okay.
Yeah.
So does that make it two-handed?
Yes, it is two-handed.
Okay. I think I need to change something about my character then, because I think I have a shield equipped also.
Oh, yeah, that's not
Which, yeah, it says that that's equipped. A light shield.
yeah, so you don't want to take that off. But yeah, this axe has the damage of a two-handed axe, but is light enough to be held in one hand.
Okay.
Dude, I would buy it, to be honest.
I mean, I do want it. I like the idea now of collecting an axe from like each of the different places. First a Jaskaran axe, now this one.
We need an axe from. Well, the problem is that in Higara, it's based on Japan, which I don't believe had battle axes as a part of their culture.
Wait, what?
Well, maybe they'll have a wood axe that I can still use for the purposes of murder.
I believe there are axes that, like, I don't know. I'll look it up later. This is not one of them, so it's fine.
Oh, never mind.
Were you wrong?
I'm fucking stupid. They had 2 different kinds of axes.
Yeah. Okay. So I
Both
wanna
of which could
attempt-
be used for murder.
Perfect. We'll get those eventually. I want to attempt to haggle as I have seen Lan do it before.
Oh, I love when the rest of the crew do this.
Trying to figure out what I would even roll for this. I don't want to intimidate her, though I'm good at that.
I would do diplomacy.
Yeah. I was figuring it would probably be that one. Oh, here we go.
Nice.
Not great.
I'm just like, are you sure it's that much money?
But it doesn't. But it doesn't come out as scary because it wasn't intimidation, so it's just are you sure? Like Amandi's trying to gaslight them into it. And they're like, what? Checks the tag. Yeah, I'm sure.
No, she kind of knows like what you're doing.
I like the idea they're having two different conversations. So what Amandi said was, "Are you sure that I can't offer you a more persuasive price?" And what she heard was, "I'm gonna tear out your guts and play jump rope with them."
No, so this is her.
What? You found a photo.
I did find a photo, although it's
Okay, hear me out.
It's not showing me that you guys can see it, but
I can
whatever.
see it, and stream
I
can
know
see it too.
That's fine. It's just not giving me the little thing at the bottom. I didn't make a map record of it. I just made an image record, which is weird, and I'm not going to do that again. But yeah, so that's her. She kind of smiles at you and kind of gets what you're doing. And she says, "You're part of the Chimera crew, right? In town?"
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit obvious. I heard they were in town, and you certainly fit the description. You know what? For what you and your crew did for the town a while ago, I'll give you a discount. We'll give you how about $850?
Okay. Works for me.
She takes pity on you for your
That's
feeble
fine.
attempt to try to haggle.
Like, hey, I can still go back to Lannis if this was a success.
Yes. So go ahead and take off 850 gold.
Okay. I so rarely. Please, computer, don't freeze.
All
Okay,
I've learned is that ancient Chinese war axes look pretty dumb.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well,
Let's see. Now we're gonna stat this out.
Hey, BB Girl 143, how you doing?
Okay. Okay, so that's now minus 850. Oops. There we go.
Efficiency is +2. Range 0. Group X. Hold on. Versatile. Where's the damage? 1d12. There you go.
Cool. Time to look at my cool new wax.
Yep.
I didn't realize before that there was a tab for pictures for that. Interesting.
Nice. Copy image. Let's go ahead and put this in the chat. This is what your axe looks like, which I can actually add it to the thing if we want to. Save image as.
Yeah, it would be nice. Thanks.
Fantasy Grounds, campaigns for pirates, images, and then
Where is it?
images. Wait, let's open your thing. Pictures, unlock.
Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Batch. Name. Where's the... Yes. What the fuck? It's not in the thing. Why is it? Where is it? I just saved it. Should be there.
Hey, Toxie.
.avif. Yeah, let's... Can we save it as a real picture, please? Save image as. That's the only thing I'm allowed to save it as, I guess. Open image in new tab. Save
Watch
image.
this.
Nope.
Hit
Watch what?
Windows Shift S and take a screen cap of it.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Nice.
Wow, you should be an IT professional.
Oh, I know, right?
You're so good at it. There we go. And then just go to the picture. Save. And then images. Nope. Fantasy Grounds. There we go.
When in doubt, capture.
Yeah. There we go.
I may work for your grandparents.
Ah!
Or on.
I don't know about that.
Wow. There we go.
Ooh, fancy. I'm gonna have to ask my people who are more knowledgeable about the things of this world,
Yeah.
about the details of this. But yeah. Ooh, got a new axe.
Perfect. She actually says, you know, I did actually receive something from one of your crew that now that you're here, this is actually very fortuitous. I can return it to you.
Okay.
She goes in the back. She says, give me 1 second. She goes into the back. She pulls out a little wooden chest, and inside she opens it to show you, and it's a handful of gold coins, the very same gold coins that you found in the Eternal Vigilance on Shipwreck Island. It's some of the treasure you recovered from there. She says your crewmate, Alder, sent me some of this to be identified.
Mm.
And I was going to write him a letter, but now that you're here, I can just tell you. This is much easier. This gold is the weirdest coin that I've ever seen minted. I cannot find record of the iconography or language that is written on this coin anywhere in any record.
I guess it came from a different plane then.
See, but that's the thing, is that we have records of
Other
The bird
planes?
is on the ship.
other manifolds in
I may
the
start carrying bird with me. I gotta ask the DM if I can.
coinage and currency that comes from them. Most of it comes from places like Quintessence and some places that actually have use of currency. This isn't from any of that either. This definitely looks like it was minted here in the Prime Manifold, but it's not any language of any human ethnicity or nation that I've ever seen, or that any record that I have can identify.
Okay. I'll pass that information along to the rest of my crew.
Excellent. Thank you so much for doing that. That saves me a lot of trouble. I might be able to find somewhere that has more information. This is just from the this is the information that I've collected, but I know of places you can go that may hold more information than what I have access to. That might be difficult.
Okay.
If you're intent on finding out where this treasure came from, that's up to you. Anyway, she slides it across the table. You can have this back. I'm done with it.
I take it, hoist the axe in one hand, and find somewhere to clip it on me. And then I take up the little chest of gold.
Okay. Yeah. So she says that yeah, if you and your captain are interested in finding out any more about the origins of that coinage, I may have some leads for you, but they're not they're not within the society.
Okay.
You notice on her, like on her clothing somewhere, probably like in a very innocuous area, she has
The little symbol from the SEA.
she has this pinned to her clothes, a little, like literally the size of a dime, like the center symbol, like the black with the gold S. She has that center thing as a little gold pin somewhere on her person, like a cuff link or like on a lapel or something that she's wearing. Very innocuous, like you'd blink and miss it.
I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, but you could easily mistake that for an anchor if you just weren't looking for it.
Yeah, no, 100%. So because you've seen it before, you do notice it when she mentions the society. It kind of jogs your memory to that symbol and realize that's what she's wearing.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as she mentioned that she had the goal to identify, I figured she was part of that whole group.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for the information. And
Of
yeah.
course. I owed him a favor anyway, so consider it repaid.
I'll let him know.
Referring to Alder, yeah.
Well, thanks. I'll tell the rest of the crew about this place. I can't guarantee that I would know how to get back to it, but I'm sure they'll be able to find it.
Oh yeah, she gives you. She's like, it's actually pretty easy to get here from the docks, and she gives you a very complicated set of directions that you immediately forget as soon as she says.
Well, hold on. So the thing about that is that if the direction she gave me would make sense for navigating basically the Fey realm, then those directions made sense to me. If she gave me
they don't. They're like very like turn down this street, turn down that street, like street names, landmarks, stuff like that are very like human-centric stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the landmarks help, but the street names, those definitely evade me after a bit. I just nod and agree.
Right. She's like, oh, you go 3 blocks on blah 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 street, and then turn left, and then you know this until you see the courthouse, and then blah blah blah, and then yeah, it's just a string of complicated directions, and she's explaining it to you as if it's very simple and should be easily followable.
Yeah. When I get back to the crew, I tell them some of the street names, all of the landmarks, and whatever of the turns I can remember.
Yeah. It'll probably take double the time that it should, but you guys can find your way back here.
I end off by saying that it's like, isn't like that abandoned part of town that we found that one time? But now she's there. So it's slightly less abandoned.
It
Oh, I
has
got
a
this black.
100% increase in residents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this with my cool axe.
Yeah, that's pretty sick axe.
I feel like
I believe at this point you guys are all back on the ship, or at least like met up somewhere in town.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
so. For those who can understand these markings, I hold it out to crew members. Read this for me.
I have a 10 in Arcana. You want me to roll?
Whoa.
This would be a history check.
I have a +9 in history.
Ooh, that'll work too.
Anybody feel like giving me the help action?
I'll help you.
But I can't. So I will sit here and hope for a good turnout. That's pretty good turnout.
Ooh, right on.
Okay, 28. Okay. Yeah, you're familiar with this iconography that's carved on the axe. It's definitely from a Ragnvaldi clan.
It's been some time since I had to decipher Ragnvaldi.
Stand by. Let me get my Ragnvaldi notes, and by my Ragnvaldi notes, I mean David's Ragnvaldi notes. Let's see.
Oh, we all borrow each other's material anyway.
This one. Here we go.
Need our Ragnvaldi notes, comrade.
Indeed.
Which I do want to start up at some point somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be
Again. So just
cool.
let
This
me know
looks
when.
like it is an axe that belonged to an offshoot clan, like a sub clan of Clan Inga, which were the clan led by the Church of Saint Tarna, or not Saint Tarna, Saint. Was it Tarna? Which one was it?
No.
Yeah, it was Saint Tarna. Yeah. Yeah. So it is a sub clan of Clan Inga. It's hard to make out the name of it, because they're mostly like the prominent clan on it is Clan Inga. Like they're proud to be like an offshoot part of that clan. But it looks like the axe is at least like 100 years old or so.
Jeez. Is it well maintained for how old it is?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It looks like it hasn't been maintained in a while. So like it hasn't been oiled recently, so it would need to be resharpened. But it has been well maintained thus far until it fell out of the hands of this clan at some point within the last, I don't know, decade or two.
I know what I'm doing for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
This axe will be in tip-top shape and ready for murder by tomorrow.
Very nice.
Real quick, where did we all just meet back up at the ship?
Yeah, or wherever, the ship or the docks
Quick
or the
question.
tavern or whatever. Yeah.
This is going to be completely, totally random. Have nothing to do with plotline or story. But do you think there's clothing for the parrot that I got in town?
Did you ask for clothing?
Yes. For the parrot.
I
like a little
don't
shirt.
think. I don't think that any merchants here make clothing for parrots. It would inhibit their ability to fly.
That's not why they wear the clothing. The love of the drip, brother.
It's to hide their sinful bonds.
Indeed. Oh, look at him wearing a little sweater. Oh, he's got a little hoodie on.
Oh damn. You
Very
fly as fuck. Yo, who said it's inhibiting his ability to fly?
That's cute.
That is not hurting his ability to fly at all. Okay.
Roll me
he
a
flies.
perception check to see if you could find such an eccentric bullshit. It's give me at least a 25.
It would be funny as fuck if I rolled that high. Oh, I was so close.
These are Allie Beardsley activities that are happening right now.
Indeed. Yeah, you don't find anybody in town that is capable of making clothing for a bird.
All right, sorry, Hornet. I couldn't find clothing here, but I will work on finding clothing somewhere else.
You named the parrot Hornet?
No.
The,
Person in chat.
the guy in chat that is
Oh,
asking
okay,
for
okay.
parrot drip.
All right,
I
we
mean,
can continue now.
To inhibit its ability to fly away from you, you can get it like a little ring that goes around its ankle, and that'd be pretty sick.
He's not going to fly away from you. He's your bird.
Mm-hmm.
They're trained very well.
Let's put it this way:
The messenger.
it's
the messenger parrot.
it's not the bird; it's my bird. The bird is very scary. What's his name?
Scuttle.
Scuttle. Yes.
Yeah.
How dare I forget
Scuttle
his name?
is his name. Famed in song and story.
You guys should make up a song for Scuttle.
That sounds like
That's
a
a good
job.
idea.
I'll write one later.
Can Scuttle be added to the crew manifest?
Yeah, seriously, he's a member of the crew.
Okay.
Thanks.
He is not able to be summoned by the whistle.
Damn
That
it.
is-
Well, because he hasn't bent the knee yet.
He is ungovernable and therefore cannot be summoned.
He will be broken and bend the knee to Captain Gelator.
Now,
As a
I
compromise. Oh, go
do
ahead.
not want to break his free spirit. That being said, his spirit will remain the only thing free because I'm scared of him, and he will remain in the cage.
Except now Lan can talk to Scuttle, and that's going to be hilarious when we eventually do that.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah.
In a compromise, since we couldn't get your parrot clothing, when Amandi's done with her axe, she will fold you a little origami hat for your bird.
Thank you.
Oh my god. I love that.
It'll stay as long as he doesn't fly. If he flies away for whatever job, I can make him another one because it'll probably fall off.
Hornet loves that. Hornet loves that. Yeah, bird hat. Thank you.
Welcome. I can't
All
promise to sell it, but I can at least use some origami.
We
No
must
worries.
appease the viewers at all
Oh,
costs.
listen. Yes. But yeah, all right, we can continue. Sorry. Slight
So
detour.
what do we want to do?
Kill thing. I mean,
Are we? I suppose I want to know. I mean, I know you gave us like questionable directions, but I would like to go to that shop and talk to her about the gold.
Cool. Oh, also, before we leave this place, we definitely need resources. Like,
So
we need to
yes.
stock up. We have one.
I can go and haggle for resources.
Cool.
That's usually my job anyway. Also, I suggested it last session, but if we're going to Rosone and we have several things that require like research, the biggest library and college in the world is there.
Huh.
Like the library at Capitol is said to be basically unmatched.
That is true.
Is that a
I
place the pirates are allowed to go?
In
Um,
disguise.
I mean, I've not researched their opinion of the seafaring lot of us in some time, but they don't. No matter what the academics will tell you, they don't have the squeakiest clean reputation themselves. I heard a rumor that a few years ago, one of their own staff was exiled and brought up on charges of piracy and treason.
What?
I'm referencing Heinrich, who was a professor who
Right.
got caught doing some very not nice things to the
That's
people.
true.
So
Forgot
Facts.
about that.
I'm like, yeah, they're probably not like a fan of us, but they also probably don't want to draw much attention to themselves since they also sent another one of their professors on a research expedition that resulted in him very publicly being murdered.
I mean,
Probably not dead.
he's fine.
No, he's very dead.
He's just sleeping.
You think so?
Daniel Cyclops.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's doing all right. He's I mean, he's dead, but I mean, he's fine.
All of his blood has been converted into a not
He's just
one giant
sleeping.
womb, but many wombs. But that oh no, I forgot his body just exploded.
Yeah, no, he got chest bursted, and then my new character vaporized him.
Yeah.
Mm.
So no, he's definitively so beyond dead. But yeah, point is, I don't know. We can roll for it, but I'm guessing that as long as we don't cause any trouble, they probably don't give a fuck. And also, I've met a couple of the academic types, and I shoot a side eye over to our archaeologist friend, and I say that if you can bring them enough interesting or fun information, they tend not to look twice where it actually came from. If they catch my drift.
Fair.
Okay.
So we're going to a scary place, huh? People
No,
read
we're
and
going to
shit.
a lot.
To a library.
Like I said, a scary place.
If we are going into,
I forget. Is Asim not the one that reads the maps to navigate us?
Yeah.
No, it's no.
if we are going into the realm of academia, I think Gelf and I should probably whip the crew into shape a little bit so as to not make absolute fools of ourselves and get kicked off college grounds immediately.
Have I just become a professor?
Duh.
I mean, I'm not ruling that out.
We don't know.
You
how
know,
got
it's
here.
been a long time since I actually professed anything.
It's been a long time since I was educated. But I mean, I'm still kicking.
Okay, so what's the move here? Where are we going? What are we doing?
To link your
Getting
tweet,
supplies.
is in the Alexa app.
What was what did the lady say about the gold of us coming back there? I forgot already.
That she has potentially some other leads, but it would be outside of their organization.
Fine.
if they're
Yeah.
interested.
So talk to her more about the leads. Get supplies. Go to Rizone because that is where the map is pointing us, right? Or the
Yes.
spyglass.
Yeah, I mean you can check it whenever you want. So
Right. So that is the order of operations. Figure out what the leads we need, supplies, then back up.
Do we all want to go check out the leads together, or do you want to divide and conquer on this one?
Lan, I'd like you to go with as our, at the very least, second most knowledgeable person.
the line is pointing that way if you open the map.
So it's passing at the very least near Rosone.
Yeah.
It's passing within, I think, an easy detour because getting some more information before we go there couldn't exactly hurt.
Okay. So who is going to be staying and haggling for resources?
Well, I'd like normally that's my job, but Daniel wants me to go with the.
Okay,
Yeah, I think we can stick together on this one.
okay, so let's go to the bookshop or the consignment store. So you guys get there in about 2 hours. It takes you to
Dice
navigate.
at the ready.
You reach the shop and you see the woman there. You all walk in. It's later in the day at this point. It looks like she's like sweeping up. It doesn't look like, besides some dust that has settled, that she actually has to clean that much. Where the fuck is her picture? There we go. So you see this lady kind of with a broom sweeping up. And she looks and she smiles. Are you bringing any NPCs with you, or is it just the 5 of you?
Oh, we should maybe bring one of our SEA people with us.
That's true. We'll take
You only have the one.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll take what's his name? Now I'm forgetting his name.
Alder.
Alder, yes.
Okay. Yeah, he says he'll come with you. He's
We'll take Scuttle with us.
No, we will not.
absolutely not. Yeah, he says he would love to accompany you guys. He hasn't actually been able to see her, and he says her name, which is Oku. Yeah. He says I haven't been able to see Oku in a long while. Normally, I just mail her some of the stuff that I pick up for identification, but I haven't actually visited her in a while, so it'd be nice to see her again. You get to her shop in a couple of hours, and by this time it's like late afternoon, early evening. She's cleaning up. She looks up and sees you all come in and smiles and is very cordial and says hi to Alger, and they kind of catch up for a moment. Oh, it's nice to see you again. Oh, it's been a while. How are things going with the new shop? And they catch up for a moment before she turns to the crew and she goes, so this is who you've been sailing with the last month or so. I heard about them from the people in town. They said that you guys made quite a stir some months ago when you thwarted a cult uprising going on in town. It's always good to hear. Getting rid of those pesky, fathomless fanatics.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we
She goes, I'm sorry I couldn't find more on the currency that you guys sent me to identify. But to the extent of my knowledge, there's nothing else that I can really tell you. Unfortunately, it just seems like it comes from nowhere. It looks like it's made up.
Did we do like our own history checks on this or religion checks on this beforehand or no?
I don't remember, but if you did, you would not have been able to find anything.
Okay.
all the moves made up. It's basically a coupon the government gives you so that they can take it from you when they want it, so that they can provide more control over you.
Yes, but this wasn't given by any government that I know of. The writing and markings on these coins don't reflect any nation or organization from the Prime Manifold.
Hey, Lan. I think it's from that place you saw in that weird vision.
Can I take a look at it and see, like, is there any, obviously not language, but I did see the weird squid man did have, like, jewelry and stuff on him. So can I see if I recognize any, like, iconography or similar font?
It looks like if you look at the coin at first, it doesn't look very like specific. It looks like it could just be the currency of any foreign country that
Okay,
you don't know the language of.
I have
Like,
a
it's very
question.
innocuous.
So I have a question, and I think Lan has a high enough history check that he would think to ask this, and this isn't
Okay.
metagaming. Is this Icaraxian?
No, it isn't.
So it
No.
doesn't look like every currency in the sense that it doesn't look like it's no known currency because it's the combination of every known currency.
No, if it was Icaraxian, she would be able to tell that immediately.
Okay.
No.
Because all sufficiently read scholars like this lady would know
Is
what
it-
Icaraxian
Is
looks
it
like.
gold?
They just can't read it.
Is it
Um,
actually gold?
Yes, it is pure gold.
I have an idea.
Okay.
What does it take for you to do that ritual, Lan?
What ritual?
The one where you
Holy fuck! It takes
the one
about
where you
240
see an
gold
object
pieces.
and ask questions about it.
It takes about 240 gold pieces in 10 minutes, and that's why he's the motherfucking captain.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hell yes. Okay, so let me just pull this up real quick.
Just have another one of those psychedelic trips. It's fine. It won't cause any trauma. Not
Lan nods and begins prepping the ritual, while secretly in his head just being like, Neptune, please not again.
She offers if you'd like to perform the ritual in like a back room with a table and like a little setup in her office.
Aye, that'd be quite nice. Also, I would like to request, if she has it, if she happens to have salt, but specifically salt that was taken from the sea.
Yeah, she's got some. She's got some sea salt.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna prep the ritual, and I would like specifically to narrate, right, what the ritual
Yeah.
consists of, because I believe that it will convince you to be more generous with your DCs.
Okay, I mean the DCs are in the ritual, but yeah.
Is basically I essentially pour a layer of the salt in my hand, place the coin on, and then I'm essentially cupping my hands around it, surrounding it with the sea salt, right? And I'm closing my eyes and saying the verbal component and everything, and I'm trying to basically invoke the stories and the songs and the memories carried away, like that carried with this object on the wind and across this and many other seas, and like essentially like carry like the spirit of this object's memory from like the salty sea air, right? And then I pull it off and very quickly into the fire, just boom, and blow the salt into the flame to make that little fireball. As that is where I would like the imagery of this to be displayed.
He just said go away.
Okay.
He wasn't kidding.
What?
Talking to Elijah, he's trying to come in here and nudge for
Oh,
stuff.
okay. But yes,
Um,
so
I was
with
drinking pepper, so he wanted.
I'm a little biased, him being my grandson. I don't mind.
Indeed. So roll me the Arcana check.
okay. Great. I would like to use Bardic Lore and roll a natural 20. I'm sorry, it's a power that I get
Is this a encounter power?
daily.
Well, you've already used it on the other thing you did during this like time in port.
I thought you said we'd been here for like a couple days, if not a week.
Yes, technically, but I'm going to rule this
Okay.
as one like
No. That's fair. That's fair.
yeah.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna roll Arcana.
$22. Okay. So 23 images.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see the first image. I assume like you would know that the images are going in like chronological order backwards. So the first image that I say will be the most recent, and then going back in time.
Yes.
So the first image you see is a chest of gold, of these gold coins, spilling out over the deck of a ship as the ship is being launched up in the air by a tidal wave. You see the ship, like crew, like nondescript crew, being thrown overboard and chaos going. This is clearly the demise of this ship.
Okay.
A flashback to the you see a clear image of a older Hagaran guy as he is sitting with this chest, clearly like in very fancy like samurai shogun armor, counting these coins in a basically what you can identify as captain's quarters of the ship.
Mhm.
And you see him writing a note that would have been delivered back to ancient Hagara, but is instead the remnants of which are in your possession.
The note is?
Yes.
Did we read that?
Stand by.
I think we did.
Stand by.
I remember reading the note.
I believe it's in here somewhere. No, that's battle map. Where the fuck is it? I know I have this image in here. Let me look. Yeah, it's under note. There you go.
Perilous. Was perilous mistakes moving on the rest of people's own of the forgotten world.
You can see he's currently in the middle of writing this note as he is counting the coins. Or as his first officer, basically in the same room, is counting up the coins. You see the third image is of this guy and his crew gathering these coins into a chest from, what does it look like? It looks like a temple made of obsidian stone, like obsidian colored stone, that they're inside of, loading these coins up. As you see in the background, the rest of his crew fighting off what you mistake for Saugin at first, but on closer inspection are actually something else entirely, some kind of aquatic monster that you've never seen before.
Didn't we fight something like that in the when we rescued the guy, the archaeologist, and the other guys from the trade guild.
That
Like
was
where
just
I
regular-
got the blood-seeking blade. Those were
yes,
just Sagan.
those were just regular Sagan, which are like the fish people. These things are like, imagine if the crew of like the Davy Jones crew
No,
in
no, no.
Pirates of the Caribbean,
Fuck.
but like less human, and
But
more,
less human.
yeah, less human. They're like full on like non-humanoid, like sea monster people with weapons.
Okay. Great. All right.
You see one of them that looks like their leader. You see the guy from your vision.
Oh fuck.
That's not
Okay.
fantastic for us.
You see, that guy.
Yep.
You see him leading these.
I'm assuming still no one can see this.
No, just you.
Great.
Only you can see this image as you see that guy at the head of this temple as some of the crew of the Eternal Vigilance are gathering whatever treasure they can, and some of them are holding off the enemy sea monster people as they make their escape.
But no word about what, like, where they were. Well, presumably they were in the temple for a while, but like the Forgotten World. Where it can I get a vibe based on like the landscape or the architecture? Where is this obsidian temple? Because surely,
No.
like, well, okay, like even like the landscape of like, does it look like a jungle, a desert, a tundra?
Yeah, jungle. Sure, it looks very jungle-like. It looks like some nondescript island somewhere in the sea that you've never seen before.
Okay, I have a question, and I'm
Yeah.
willing to have the DC be absurdly high.
Okay.
Is this Kith?
Oh, Kythe?
Based on like a song or like a rumor about a guy who's heard a story about a bard that sings a song about a legend of a man from Kythe.
Most people who go to Kythe don't come back, so you're not 100% sure, but it doesn't look like it.
Okay.
You've heard tales of people sailing near Kythe and the fact that it is wall-to-wall jungle, like around the whole fucking thing. This doesn't look the same as it looks otherworldly. Like the jungle looks weird.
Oh, so it looks like
The place from your vision before.
it looks like the place from my vision before. So this ship traveled there. So
Yes.
Which means it's able to be sailed to.
yeah.
You found the blue lens on this ship as well.
Can I look through the blue lens at one of the coins?
Yeah, nothing happens.
Okay, that was anticlimactic. Forget I did that.
I mean, it was an interesting line of logic.
Now that I'm thinking about it, looking at where the line was pointing, it does pass Rosone and kind of goes off the map a little bit.
Yeah, but that's happened before with
Yeah. You know there is stuff off the map of the world map, like all the
well,
way to the west.
up until
off the map.
recently. Up until recently, I would have said that it was the country of Westmarch, but they found that, so it can't be the Lost World anymore.
Well, the West March is to the west. This is pointing
East.
east.
I met someone in a pub once who told me some cockamamie tale about Thrun being round.
That would be ridiculous.
Everybody knows it's a cube.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, she doesn't recognize the country that this gold is from, and our heading is off of our normal map. I think we're going into uncharted waters.
Let's
Sick as
do it.
fuck.
Let's go.
Let's chart some goddamn waters.
Okay.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you would like to do with this lady in her consignment store? She had said she had some leads on more information about the coins. If you have any more questions about it, but that is not necessary to continue.
I guess
It's up to you if you want to gather more information.
Yes, please.
Always.
the only other information I'm really interested in is the last known location of Zir.
She would not know that. Well, she might be able to find out though.
If she could arrange one of the omnipotent birds, which are commonly employed by our trade, to send to us as soon as you know his last known heading.
Yeah, she could do that. She tells you of. She says there is a library where you might be able to get the information. I don't know if you can get there from the library in Rosone. I heard you guys mention wanting to go to the library in Capital.
Wait. Well, why would we not just, if we can't get there from the library in Capital, why not just sail there? What country is it in?
Well, it's not necessarily in a country. You can get there. The one that I know of is in Andoran. There's a way to get there. It's a special library inside of a library. It has
like a restricted access section where they keep the naughty books.
Sort of, yeah. It has it could be the only place that I know of that could hold the information you're looking for, because it holds almost every piece of information. Scholars call it the Stygian Library.
Stygian. As in, does Stygian also in this world mean the dividing line between life and death?
I don't think so.
I guess Stygian literally just means very dark.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it does have that connotation, as well as eldritch and arcane. It doesn't literally relate to the Styx River as it does in real life. It just means more like fell magics befall this place. She says the one location I know of where you can get to the Stygian Library is in the library in the Three Keeps in Andoran.
What is the Three Keeps?
Which, let's see, hold on. Do I have an image of Andoran for you?
It's on the map.
Yeah,
you
that's
just tell me what to
detailed.
zoom. Oh, okay, more detailed.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yes.
Well, so long as none of those three keeps be near Taldane, it shouldn't be a problem.
No, it's not in Taldane. But yeah, there's the map, so you can look on there. She says it's in 3 keeps. Um,
God,
I
forgot how
don't have
detailed Ben
con-
makes his maps.
Sorry.
I forgot how fucking crazy detailed you make your maps.
Yes. So I don't have any contacts, unfortunately, within 3 keeps. So if you go there, you'll have to figure out your own way in. But I can tell you, because I've had associates been there before, I can tell you how to get in. She basically explains in the like one of the sections of books, there is a book, and she gives you a title of a book. She says if you pull that, it'll open a secret entrance to the Stygian library. It's hidden behind the bookshelf, and that's how you access it.
Uh-huh.
Now, what is the thing?
The 3 keeps. It's in one of the baronies. It's the seat. It's like the capital of one of the baronies.
I'm looking at it now. Is it like, do we have to break in, or will they let us in?
Are you asking this lady, or
Yeah,
are
like
you asking me?
kind of both. Like, what would this operation entail if we were to get in?
Well, I mean, it's up to you how you get in. You can break in if you wanted to. Like it's clearly under guard. Like it's in the capital city of one of the baronies, so it's not going to be easy to just like it's
Do
not
people-
open to the public.
Do the people what own the 3 keeps know what they have there?
Perhaps the curator of the library and maybe the Baroness, possibly. I don't know. I've never been there myself.
Looking at the map,
Uh-huh.
we could. I mean, it is 3 keeps, so that's going to be hard to take on. Like, 1 keep sieging would be difficult.
Yeah, you know the middle one is like the main one. The 2 off to the the side are more like seaside fortresses more than an actual like living building, like living quarters building. Like the nobility stays in the island one.
Yeah, that being said, we'd have to get our boat.
Why is that going? Way the dodo. Come on.
So we could. Hmm. If we go into town and we figure out, I don't know, because they're nobles, right? We could figure out a way to sneak into their court with like disguises.
I mean, yeah.
This
We can
brings
try.
me back to having to teach the crew how to be civilized.
We'll be fine.
No, nobles are really shitty.
Aye, Captain.
They also like money, so we're fine.
Aye, Captain Gulator, don't you worry about us. By the time I'm done with this lot, I'll have them ready to lick the king's boots himself. And then Lan, after declaring that he is fit to make the crew ready for the world of high fashion and court politics, snorts in a loogie and spits it onto the floor.
I'm
Yep.
more like what fork to use because they're really pretentious about that.
I don't know.
I've been to a couple of steak dinners before.
When
This
he,
is back
says,
when I was
when
like,
he says, "What fork do I use?" I look over at Amandi like I'm lost. I go, I don't know whichever one they give me.
It depends on the course.
Amandi knows about this.
I've just decided that for some reason she does know about this particular thing.
I love the idea that Lan, who has been traveling around the world for 50 years, is still mostly ignorant of like Regency politics, and then looks over at Amandi thinking he's found a kindred spirit, and Mondi's like, it depends on the course. And he kind of looks back, but like, what the fuck? It's like your
No,
one
no.
friend who has weird gaps in their knowledge, where it's like, hey man, how many states are there in America? Man, I don't fucking know. What am I, a geologist? But then like randomly they speak perfect French, and you're like, the fuck?
Yeah, I went through a knife phase before I got to the axes,
Oh,
which
there it is.
eventually led to like tableware because they have multiple sets. It was a whole thing. So yeah, I learned it at one point.
Nice.
Fair.
Mhm.
You
All
ever seen
right.
the movie Mystery Men?
Conclusion was it's overly complicated and axes are better.
Ha!
Axes are better.
Nice. So, question:
Yes.
where are we heading to this library, or are we just diving right into going where the
Well-
telescope points us? Hello?
get there.
Yeah. She says to you, if you are planning to go to the Stygian library, I would make a request that while in there, if you could try to find me a specific book, I would very much appreciate it. There's stuff in there that I'd really like to get my hands on, some text that I've been looking for.
Okay.
That's if you're going. If not, I'll see if I can find somebody else.
It seems like
We should.
it seems like our map is pointing us in the direction of uncharted waters. That being said, if people have been there before and written it down, it's not exactly uncharted. Which means maybe some charts exist, and they'd be very helpful.
Yes.
So I think the library is the way to go.
All right.
Y'all ready for some Regency politics?
So
Absolutely.
real
Maybe
quick,
after we stop in this way.
Oh boy.
Because I think that might be the only way to get us into this
kind of
looking on the map, very heavily fortified area.
Now, I have a suggestion, and our wizard might be able to back me up on this. I've heard rumor and legend of strange magics that can cast a glamour over a person, alter their appearance to make them look more savory, what to walk amongst the regular folk.
Lan, I'm very sorry. There is nothing I can do for the last time to make you more attractive to the opposite sex.
I look at
Wow.
him with like I look at Gelf with a bitch, please. Look. Son,
Incredible.
take a step back when you're talking about that. I say, I might be retired now, but I've been leaving a trail of broken hearts since you were just a tickle in your daddy's balls.
What did you have in mind?
If we're going to infiltrate a court full of fancy folk, it might be better if we could give the. It might be better to not only train ourselves to give the impression of being more on their level, but if one of these glamours does exist, then it might be better for us to, well, quite frankly, not look like a gaggle of fairy monsters who want to walk into a court and rumble about their library.
It will take a bit of studying, I think.
Now
I'm
that
gonna
I'm
look
coming
up
in back
what.
from that sea witch, I can kind of transform back at will. So it's mostly just you and Amandi.
Let me see if there's
That is
anything in the 4E database.
There's probably like a disguise self ritual or some shit like that.
There
There is.
very well might be.
um,
I have to find it.
Hello.
I also just like the fact that we can, just pointing out again, we canonically know that land lays pipe so good that it has multi-million-dollar bounties associated.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
We hear you.
I've been trying to say something. Anyway, it is now 9:45, so before we set sail,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need to leave at 10. Hard cut off.
Yeah, that's fine. We're pretty
Okay.
much like just discussing the
Next session.
logistics of what you guys want to do next, and then
Okay. I
we'll
was just making
end it
sure.
up at you guys setting sail.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, while we're in this shop, I'm gonna buy some sets of silverware to teach the crew how to properly eat at a courtly meal.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Honestly, can you just ask the consignment lady if she knows about where to find like a potion or an amulet or like something that more in the short term, so our wizard doesn't have to learn an entirely new spell.
Ooh, that is a good question.
Like, if there's
Oh,
a
I have
potion
no
of
problem learning an entirely
No,
new
no,
spell.
but I'm saying timing wise, if we can research the potion of water breathing in one quest, is there like, for lack of a better term, polyjuice potion?
Let's find out. This may be something that she says yes to, and I will give you the information next time.
Okay.
Like she has the information, and she will
But
give
you
it to
do not.
you. Yeah, but exactly, she'll give it next time.
She has to go find it in her sacred texts.
Yeah, I am not gonna lie, very worried about the physical well-being of our ship. Again, we just got it refinished. So
Speaking
I don't
of
think,
which, I also have to buy resources when you're done.
Okay.
yeah,
I will clap a hand to Gillator's carapace,
yeah.
I guess,
Uh-huh.
and say, Gillator, you know, it's a warship's job to get damaged. You know that, right? We're going to get damaged. The
Yes,
trick is to find a good mechanic.
it's my job as a captain to determine how worth it is to get damaged. And if I can find a way to not have cannonballs flung at us, I'm gonna do that.
Absolutely fair.
Cost benefit analysis.
Yes. And well, you know what? To be fair, you do have a one of the best shipwrights in this side of the world, and owing you a favor. So
Yeah, but we have the sharpest tongue in the however many seas exist on Ruin,
Mm.
on our crew as well. The only problem is it is attached to the head of a goat, so we do have to figure out how to get him looking relatively human for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Attached
I can.
to a 73-year-old goat with one horn.
That might require disguise self, and I'm like I said, I have no problem learning it. It's a level 6 spell. It's in the player's handbook. It's a very old and tried and true spell.
Is this the ritual?
Yeah. No, it's a power.
Wait, it's a power?
Nice.
All right then.
Does it specifically, because it's disguise self, does it only disguise you, or can you use it on an ally?
Good question. Let me take a look and see.
And I would
Personal.
say in that instance, it's probably more useful to disguise like a Mondi than me.
Here, I'll put it in the chat, and you can decide for yourselves.
There's a hat of disguise.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
So there is disguising magic you can place on wearable items.
It says quite specifically, with a snap of your fingers, you suddenly look like someone else.
Right. Unfortunately, it is a personal action.
Yeah.
So it only works on yourself. You can't cast disguise self on anybody else.
If only Lan and I had some way to communicate so he could use me as his meat puppet. Wait, that didn't sound very good.
Gross.
That sounded very wrong.
Yes.
Also, I
Um,
cannot do that.
Well, we can.
It's like, I just look at him saying that like it's a thing I can do, and just like, to be clear, I cannot do that. I don't know where he'd be going with this plan. I'll be speaking to human resources of the ship.
Well, that would be Captain Gillator, I'm afraid.
No, no,
That
it's the one who is the liaison between management and staff. That is me.
Oh,
CEO.
I'm screwed.
Ye will
I'm
have
in the
to
break.
attend ye will have to come in this Saturday to attend a mandatory webinar.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Once again, just the comedy sniper in slow motion. Just the comedy I see an R word. Take the shot. Take the shot.
Nope, makes sense.
Please don't say
Makes
the R word
sense.
off screen.
Rutabaga.
Ah, shit.
So anyway,
Anyway,
so yeah, does
Yeah.
anybody have any other things they want to ask this lady or me about what your plan of action is? I will check with her about any disguise magic that she knows of, and get back to you by next session on that.
okay.
I actually do have an idea.
Okay, I want to ask her about the weird, like, tentacle ooze that happened to me, and like, is that like, what is this, and should I be concerned?
She says it definitely sounds like Dagon, like magic from Dagon's like portfolio, basically.
Yes, I had worked that bit out, thank you. I'm more concerned about whether or not the ooze that was absorbed into me is going to kill me slowly. I'm sorry. I was being snippy just there. That's not on you. I've had a very stressful couple of days. And I'm lashing out, and that's not okay.
She's. I don't know if she has heard of it being absorbed into somebody. She says it's probably more like a marking magic that has marked you, and you are basically like if the people who get power from Dagon or him himself sees you, they can identify that you've had contact with him.
I see.
Guys,
Well,
I have the plan.
okay.
Yeah.
So, what was it? 3 Keep?
Yeah, 3 keeps.
It's in Galeria, right?
It is in Galeria, yes.
Yes.
Alder.
No.
Alder, you used to sail in
No.
the trade guild, didn't you?
No.
I did.
Do you have
Wait.
any old paperwork that states that you were working with the trade guild?
I do, but my entire fleet was destroyed by Saugin, so I'm pretty sure they assume that I'm dead.
Or are you?
got picked up by a nice, friendly boat, and you're sailing back into port with us. And we're just your We're just the sailors who picked you up.
Great.
That could work.
You know, to add a bit of credibility, so long as Asim's crew and the Stormrunner are harassing Phaedron vessels in the waters near Jaskar, I don't suppose it would be too difficult for him to pick up a ledger that could pass him off or pass his ship off as a wealthy, if not particularly notable, spice merchant from Jaskar.
Which ship?
The Stormrunner?
Either the Stormrunner or the Chimera.
Like
I'm saying, their orders previously, if I'm not mistaken, were go around and harangue the Phaedron Legion around Jaskar. You could find, if you can find a ship that is like that has a ledger for being like a Jaskaran spice merchant or textile merchant ship from Pesh, then
I mean, I can probably
the,
make one.
the
I've
issue is that
seen-
the Chimera is definitely a Andorran constructed ship.
And what's the Stormrunner?
It's a Jaskaran ship.
then we use the Stormrunner. The cover story is that Asim was a textile merchant from Pesh. He happened to be sailing nearby where this guy's fleet got caught by the Saugin, picked him up on a driftwood raft in the middle of the ocean, and agreed to sail him home.
I like
Just
it.
been taken. I'm down.
Okay. Yeah, you
As
can
long-
use the Stormrunner and trade ships with them, but if they get attacked, then the Chimera is the one on the line.
Oh no, they're
That's
until we get back, they're docking.
Oh, you want them to stay here?
as a matter of fact. I'm rolling the sails up and taking them with us.
So the issue is that if you want them to follow the Phaedron fleet and spy on them more, they would have to leave when you do.
No, I mean, I was just saying that as a way to acquire papers that temporarily scrub the Stormrunner, but Asim says he might be able to just counterfeit them.
Yeah, I want to know. That's something that I would have seen done on the Stormrunner.
Yeah, you are a smuggler. Yeah.
Honestly, he might already just have fake paperwork that says that he's a spice trader.
Maybe. Although the Chimera is not. It might be able to be identified depending.
No,
No.
Stormrunner.
The Stormrunner.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm. Well, the issue is that if you guys take the Stormrunner, then Siddiqui would have to take the Chimera because he would need to start heading up to follow the Phaedron fleet like soon as possible.
No, he'd stay
Why do
in
they need
port.
to go anywhere?
He'd stay in port. He'd just
Okay, well then he would not be able to follow the Phaedron fleet and spy on them anymore.
right
I think this is worth it.
until we get back. Until we get back.
Yeah, this is
I
the
think
move.
we meet in Besmara because we know we're safe there, and it's just north of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we leave them docked in Besmara with the Chimera until then.
Okay.
Where's Besmara on the map?
So I've
It
got
should
a
be on
quick
the Andorran
question.
map.
So I've
Yeah.
got one quick
It should
question.
be north.
I would rather
island.
Siddiqui knows the Stormrunner better than any of us.
Yeah.
He's been sailing it. I think he should come with us, and you should leave one of the other NPCs of the Chimera in charge of the Chimera. One that you would.
What's her name? The one who runs the prison, I think, is our.
Helgrid?
Yeah, I think Helgrid's our oldest officer that we have.
Let me look. Hang on.
Yeah, you have a list of them. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go to that.
Okay.
I'll
think-
alert the media.
So to be honest, I don't know what rank he is as far as his role on the ship, but actually, Tagashi has been with us the longest.
Not the longest, because we got him when we set all those people free, all those prisoners free when we were raiding the prison island.
Yeah.
I think Helgrid was
Longer.
part of our crew before, like, any of that. Like, I think they were just one of the original crew members from the start of the game.
Yes. We
Yeah,
had
fair.
them for that long. Helgrid was definitely one of the originals.
That's
we-
that's maybe why I don't remember acquiring her.
Yeah, we
Or-
didn't. She was just over here.
No, I'm agreeing. And also, if she's the prison guard and I make regular trips down there to visit the prisoner, I've probably talked with her the most, so she probably has like, here's what Lan would do when he is off the ship.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool.
All right, so
And
that
we
that
should-
also helps because that way Captain Giltor only has to focus his efforts on, like, he can teach all of us, but really only focus in on making sure that Asim in particular knows what he's doing.
Well,
Yeah.
Asim doesn't have to be courtly. Asim has to
I'm
be
a
spicy.
traitor. And that I know how to do. I think. It shouldn't be too hard. It's like riding a horse. Once you
Like
fall
riding
off
a
a couple of
it's like-
times.
Riding a stolen velocipede.
Yeah. Once you've fallen off a couple of times, you really get right on there. Just
And
remember
with that,
the
we've
storm.
arrived at 2200 hours.
Yes. So we're gonna need to stock and prep the Storm Runner. The Chimera is gonna stay in port.
Once again, with explicit instructions
Not to
that
go
if
anywhere.
you set this ship sail for anything less than our imminent demise and something happens to it,
Keel haul.
I will. You will wish that you had been keel hauled.
Scuttle. That's the only thing I can think that's worse than keel haul.
You lack
Get my scuttle?
imagination.
Oh, I know.
You lack imagination.
I know. And
Scuttle
on
would
that
make it
note,
quick.
I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream and hop out.
Me too. I'm going to